Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and today we are going to be looking at the debut album from the band Crowded House. This is the self-titled album and recorded or released on August 1st, 1986, produced by Mitchell Froom. Now, this was the first album to feature Neil Finn, following the breakup of Split Enz, who was his previous band. And there were a few singles on this album. Neil Finn, Nicholas Seymour, and Paul Hester was the group that made up Crowded House. And there were quite a few hits on here. Songs that you probably know if you grew up listening to radio in the 80s, or if you still listen to pop rock radio, those mix stations. Don't Dream It's Over, Something So Strong, Mean to Me, World Where You Live, and Now We're Getting Somewhere. And I think most of those, with the exception of Now We're Getting Somewhere, were included on the Greatest Hits album, Recurring Dream. Now, Split Enz had broken up, and Neil Finn and Paul Hester, the drummer, decided to form a new band. And so Nick Seymour came up to Finn during the after party for the final show of this, or during one of the Australian shows. Some of you fans can correct me here, and asked if he could just audition for the band. Bones Hillman from Midnight Oil, he was also considered, but they were doing a demo for the song "That's What I Call Love," and which is the closing track on this album. And it got the spot for Seymour, and so he was in. And so they were calling themselves the Mullanes, and they had another guitar player. And right before they signed to Capitol Records, Capitol didn't like that name, the Mullanes, and so there was another alternative title, Largest Living Things. But they ended up becoming Crowded House because the living quarters they were provided while they were recording was small, and for three guys. So they recorded the album in Los Angeles, working with Chad Blake, who would work with the band later on, and actually got in a couple of session guys, Jim Keltner, there's that name again, and Jerry Schiff. And so started working on the album, and eventually got with Mitchell Froom and came together. All the tracks were pretty much written by Neil Finn, and a couple of co-writing on here. Paul Hester helped co-write That's What I Call Love. Mitchell Froom co-wrote Something So Strong. So just a really, really nice pop album. One of the better albums of the 80s. Each song is just solid, just very much alive and comes right out of your speakers. And really, really good songwriting, good melodies, big hooks. And a worthy album to have and to own. Crowded House, the debut. A band that's kind of garnered a little bit of a cult following, and very much worthy of one, because it's good stuff. So, Crowded House, the self-titled debut album, today's Daily Record. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. In the meantime, I'll see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.